many of them are girls, which is great.
Yeah.
And so with high school or college education, then they have a chance at a better life, leading to financial empowerment.
You're listening to the Isn't She Amazing podcast with your hosts, Marianne Clyde and Lorna McGill.
Hi, I'm Marianne Clyde.
And I'm Lorna McGill.
And we're here with the Isn't She Amazing podcast with another amazing guest. Shock, shock, because we always have amazing women. Today we have Helen Yang, who spent, 30 years with in a career with DuPont, first in the States, and then she was transferred to Shanghai. I think you were there for 20 years.
20 years, that's right.
And then recently came back to the States and started a management company, New Horizons Management. She's the founder and a director of that. She serves on several boards of organizations that empower women, like Asia Initiatives, Women Strong. Helen, geez, where do you find all that time?
Thank you very much, Marianne and Lorna, for having me on your podcast. I'm delighted to be here. I find time because those are my interests, and so when you're interested in something, you make time for it. Even, as busy as I might have been when I had a full-time job, I found time after work to do these things.
That's such an important point because people run around and say, I'm so busy, I don't have time, But I think you're right. I think Lorna, agrees with that as well. It's just what you love or what you're passionate about, you make time.
That's right.
Or it's easy. So I have a question. So you're a founding member you have started this consulting firm. So what motivated you to go from the corporate environment, because you were so involved and it was a big part of your career? What motivated you to switch to becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I have been with DuPont for a very long time, and then I decided to, so I retired from DuPont, and then I thought, what should I do with the rest of my life? And it seems like I felt like I had something to give to other people, maybe people early in their career, because I have a lot of experience, accumulated over the years. And I thought that maybe I could contribute by sort of continuing that line of work. So in business consulting, I have experience leading businesses, leading corporate functions, leading people, strategy, transformation, business operations. So I thought that I could utilize all of those skills to help more companies or more people. And so that's why I did that. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're very interested in helping and empowering younger women.
Yes, I am. Yes. And also during my career as well. Yeah, I did that.
Tell us about what motivates you to be an empowering person that you are. What is it that makes you want to build them up? I mean, I know you're good at strategy and all kinds of stuff, diversity, but empowering women is a key thing. Since you're one of our expert panel members in our upcoming Supernova Summit, because you're this big supernova, you've come to a transition in your life and you said, wow, I'm going to commit my life to doing this.
Right.
What motivates you?
Well, I guess very early in my career, I became a leader. I was giving a leadership role with people reporting to me very early in my career. And so then for the rest of my career, I led teams. I mean, a lot of different teams. And then eventually when I moved to Asia Pacific, then I led multifunctional, multicultural teams. Yeah, and because DuPont is in the chemicals and materials space, it's mostly male. There's a lot of women leadership roles, but then in certain areas, it's more male dominated. And so you always need to be looking out sort of for the women to make sure that they're given the opportunities. And so I think that is what got me started. You know, there is a need, and I saw that that is what's required, what is needed in industries such as that. And so that's what got me motivated to do this.
So
And it was
what,
also
no, go ahead, go
it's
ahead.
part of the job too. You know, as a leader, you need to be looking out and making sure that your high potentials, your good performers are being rewarded, you know, appropriately and equally.
So what advice do you give these young women when they're working in this male dominated environment? It's so different. And you've got to learn how to navigate that as a female.
Yes, that's right. And so, first of all, you want to just mentor and coach them to kind of to stand out, to be heard, to be visible. You know, so at meetings, I encourage them to speak up in meetings when they have something to say and not sit back. No, but lean in, right? To speak up in meetings. And when you agree, if you agree with her remarks, then support her remarks and amplify her voice. So that's one thing, just to speak out, have the confidence. They need to have confidence, build up the confidence to really speak out, and then and people will respect you more for that. And also give the women visibility, opportunities to speak in front of an audience, especially when there are senior leaders in the audience, because they can influence your career. So give them visibly opportunities to present, give a presentation, and also opportunities to lead highly visible projects.
Hmm.
Yeah, so those are a couple of things. And then aside from that, just mentoring the women, provide mentoring, provide coaching. They want to learn. I mean, they seek you out too. They really want to learn. They're really hungry. They want to know how to improve, how to get better, and how to get those roles with higher responsibility.
I was going to ask you if they seek you out for the advice or you seek them out because you notice something.
Yeah.
Or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit both, but certainly they do seek you out, because they look for role models. They look for women role models. And so if you're a woman in a leadership position, they're gonna, and if they think that they can get along with you, that you have good chemistry. You need to have good chemistry.
Well,
Yeah.
that
So
shows me that you're approachable.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely, because if
Yeah.
you're some tyrant, they won't avoid you.
Yeah.
Maybe steering clear from Helen.
That's right. They think that you will be willing to help them.
Yeah.
You're willing to give your time, and they have to feel that. They have to feel that you are willing to give your time, that you care about them, about their well-being. And then they will come and seek you out, and we'll schedule meetings, every, so often we sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, okay, so you led multicultural teams too.
Yes.
So are women now, were these all Asian women, different kinds of Asian women, or because I'm
I've
wondering
led
how you'll approach that sense of insecurity and
Yeah, I've led multicultural teams. When I had global roles, I had multicultural teams, including Western women and Asian women. And then when I moved to Asia Pacific, it was mostly multicultural teams within Asia Pacific. So they're different nationalities. They're in different countries. Yeah.
Now, different countries, did you see how that those cultural differences impacted women and their access to financial resources?
Yes, there's definitely a difference in cultures, right? And different access, right? And so, yes, Yes, and different behaviors too. Yeah, so yeah, quite different. So it's very interesting. I learned a lot from them too.
Because you're having to
Sure.
modify as you're in these different cultures.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And when we have meetings, cross-cultural meetings, a meeting with everybody, people from different cultures all talking together. And sometimes it's face to face and sometimes it's virtual. Yeah. And so you have to understand the cultures well enough to know, that make sure that everybody gets a chance to talk and to be heard. Yeah.
That can be a big diplomatic mission.
Navigating, you're making it sound like it was so easy, but that's a very difficult,
It's tricky.
to navigate through that.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
hats off to you, Helen, I'll tell you, because
Well, you learn on the job. I mean, you learn. It's when I first went over there, this is all kind of new. Although I had cross-cultural teams before, they were Westerners but here it's all Asian cultures in Asia Pacific. But you learn as you go. You learn as you go, and then yeah, so you figure it out. And so some cultures, some people need more encouragement to speak up than others. Other cultures will have more tendency to speak, and other cultures are more quiet. And so you have to kind of balance that.
Right.
yeah, because even in the US, we tend to buy into the culture that women have traditional roles and maybe shouldn't be speaking up at a board meeting, or maybe shouldn't be too loud in her opinion, or maybe shouldn't disagree with a male boss, or maybe even a female boss. I don't know.
Mhm.
And that takes a lot of finessing and building their inner strength.
Yes, that's right. Definitely in the Asian cultures, there is a respect for authority.
Yeah.
So you don't want to speak up. You don't want to speak against somebody who is of a higher level than you are, right? And so so you don't want the manager to lose face, we say, or feel embarrassed,
Right.
to feel embarrassed. That's definitely, you definitely don't want to do that. So maybe, the way to do that is to speak outside of a meeting, not in a public forum. You don't want to challenge them publicly, but there are ways, and there are managers who are more open, to diversity, to different opinions. And so then you can speak up more. So you kind of have to know kind of the personalities as well. Yeah.
Right. That's what a valuable tool that you were for these women in your
Yeah.
employ and in your teams and stuff like that.
Mhm.
How did all that translate to all your humanitarian work and your philanthropic work?
Yeah.
What kind of opportunities have you had to empower women in those kind of situations?
Okay, well, I can talk about a couple of examples. When I was overseas, when I was based in Asia, I was on some nonprofit boards, and a couple of them are related to empowerment, empowering women and girls, but also other people too. So one of them is called Shanghai Sunrise, and this nonprofit organization provides access to education for underprivileged youth.
Okay.
And so we provide scholarships to students from low-income families to allow them to go to high school and college. Okay.
That's for
So-
boys and girls, right?
Oh, that's boys and girls.
Yeah,
But
good.
many of them are girls who apply for this program. Many of them are girls, which is great.
Yeah.
And so with high school or college education, then they have a chance at a better life, leading to financial empowerment. So that was one. Another nonprofit I was a board of is called Yodao Foundation, and they provide assistance to children of migrant families. So migrant families are families that move from rural communities into the city to work, to find work, and they bring their children. So we call them, they're migrant families. And so we provide assistance to the children of those migrant families, kindergarten through elementary school, to allow them or enable them to have a better education and a better life.
Did you ever run into any roadblocks with the families when you're working to give these kids an education, or are there any challenges that you run into?
The families have to agree to accept the assistance, and so they have to apply. And so if they apply, then they're supportive. And so we didn't have a lot of resistance or any challenges from the families, not so much.
And the reason I ask is I'm involved in a nonprofit here in the United States that we work with underserved kids, and it's really important that we really, we engage with the families as we're getting them through the program, because
That's
they
right.
need their support. They need to support the student.
That's right. Same with the nonprofits that I was involved in too. We also work with the families. Yeah. Yes. And then over here, Marianne mentioned a couple of nonprofits that I am just starting to get into, Asia Initiatives and Women Strong International, and both of them are very much focused on empowering women and girls in underserved communities and in local organizations. So
How do you see that with women being empowered, how it contributes to the broader societal and economic goals, like locally and globally? Like, how does that change things?
oh yeah, so we support education, for example, education, healthcare, sustainable development, economic security, opportunities. So when they get those things, then they are going to have more doors open up for them. They'll have more opportunities, they'll get maybe better jobs, and they can become self-sufficient, at some point. And so I think that's leads to financial empowerment. So with financial empowerment, then they have control. They feel a sense of control over their financial situation.
Right.
They had peace of mind. They feel at ease with their finances, and also confidence that they can handle financial challenges that they may face down the road. And it gives them a sense of personal power, personal control. So I think it's very, very, very important that they have that. And to achieve that, then you need those opportunities, and
Right.
access to resources that these nonprofit organizations, can help provide. Yeah.
So
So-
tell us how you got involved with there's quite a diverse list of, and I know it's not all your involvements, but it's quite a diverse list of nonprofits and stuff. How do you get involved in those? Like if somebody's watching, wants to get involved in some philanthropic endeavor, how would they do it?
I think that you can certainly look up whatever area that you're interested in. You can go seek out the information on the internet. In my case, I knew people. So it's through my networking that I got to know these organizations. And sometimes one organization leads to another organization because you meet more people. So one thing leads to another. So I think that if you're interested in doing something like this, that you can certainly just reach out. And they're there because there are a lot of nonprofits. I found lots of nonprofits with missions such as empowering women and girls. Yeah, and doing fantastic, amazing work. Very impressive work. And some of these organizations have been going for 25 years, 30 years. It's just amazing how it has been able to keep going, with all volunteers.
I know, I think Age Initiative's about 25 years. And I think we just heard that Women Strong is
10-year anniversary. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's pretty amazing, yes. They have a small staff. Usually all these nonprofits, they have small staff, sometimes only 2 people. Some of the ones that I've been involved, only like 2 staff, and everyone else is a volunteer. And
Yeah.
yet it's been able to kind of keep going.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
Yes.
it's quite amazing. Now, do you travel with those organizations? Do you go to all the places that they have stuff? Give
Yeah,
us an
sometimes
example of some place you've gone and how you've participated as a volunteer.
Okay, I can talk about my experience in Asia because the nonprofits here, Women Strong and Asia Initiatives, I've just started. I just got to know them because I moved back in the US just last year.
Ah,
Yeah.
You don't
so
waste any, you don't let any grass, any grass grow under your feet.
Yeah, it's been a good year though. I mean, I really try to reach out into the community and get to know people and try to get involved. Yeah, so I haven't been here all that long. So I can talk more about my experience when I was based in Shanghai, and those nonprofits. And so yes, you can go out to the, say, the rural villages, and to see how your contributions are being used, to see what they need, and to meet the people that you are helping, and to see how your contributions are being put to work. You can do
How
that.
does that feel? How does that feel when you actually get to see it?
Oh, that feels really good. And they're so appreciative. Yes, they're so appreciative of the support that they get from the outside. Yeah, or you can visit the families. You can visit the families of the children, the students that you are helping. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
scholarships, you visit the families. So it's very rewarding to see the assistance kind of in reality,
Right.
in real life.
Just seeing it on paper, you see the numbers and you see all
That's
these metrics and what the impact report, but it's very different from seeing a person.
Yes, that's right. And these are real people that you're helping, right? Yeah.
I think it's so powerful to be able to, one of the reasons I like to travel to organizations that I'm supporting is because you'd like to see, if there's a school being built that you contributed to, you want to see
Yeah,
that school,
that's
or
right.
that water well that they're digging, or the food distribution, or how the education works, because it's so different. How the maternal health, there are lots of programs that involve maternal health and so forth, and
Right.
babies, and it's such a powerful thing. And as you said earlier, how much you learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I would go, I would think, oh, I
Yeah,
learned
you
so
say that all the time, Marianne, that Marianne always says, I feel like I learned more than, or
Yes.
I gained more.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's true. I'm just, we do what we can do, but it's just the way of life, the resiliency,
Mm-hmm.
the resourcefulness,
That's right. Yeah.
the forgiveness, because a lot of these countries have had conflicts within, some of the different countries that
Yes.
you
Yes.
visit. I imagine
Right.
have
Yeah.
wars and conflicts, and they move on.
They move on against all odds.
Yes.
So I have a lot of admiration for people in those situations.
Yeah,
They don't have much, but they are able to manage, and they're seemingly happy, and so they make do with what they have. And it takes a lot, to do that. They don't have an easy life, right? But they do what they can with what they have, and I have a lot of admiration for people like that.
Yeah, how wonderful it
yeah.
is that you get to travel with these organizations
Mhm.
as well, because they're in several different countries. So tell us of another experience, something that really is memorable for you personally, that you experienced during one of your trips to one of these countries? I know that's a big question because it's like,
Just say just going to a school, visiting a local school, for example, and seeing that the things that you contribute to say the clothes that you gave them, the donations that you give them, and then they're actually using them and wearing them, and they're very happy, and so when you go there, they are very, very appreciative of that. Yeah, so all of these, just meeting the people.
So looking ahead, like, what do you envision it could look like 10 years from now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. So these communities will thrive. They will thrive. They will become better off. I think that they're going to improve. Yeah. So.
yeah, that is neat. Because do you have specific goals for tracking the success in certain programs that you're all? I know I'm talking about several different organizations that you're working with, but is there a way of tracking the success that you see, that this is better and that's better and this didn't work, so we're going to do this instead?
Uh-huh. Oh, yes. That's right. We get feedback from them, visit them to see how it's working, and then adjust, because their needs also change over time.
Mhm.
So adjust what you provide to them, what kind of support you provide, and also adjusting the type of support or the amount of the support, as things change, as things evolve.
That's so important because, they do change. And sometimes when you do go into help, you envision this,
Yeah.
this is really the problem, or this is the core. And so if you don't address this isn't going to get fixed. So that's wonderful that you focus on that.
Yes. Yes.
It's so important to be flexible because not all organizations are. It's that this is what
Ah,
we do, this is what we
ah,
continue to do,
yeah.
and of course,
Or this is what, you fill out the grant request or the grant application, and this is what it was for. And then you're finding as you're doing the work that it's not,
Right.
but that's what you received the money for, so you can't
Mhm.
deviate. And so that becomes a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just always learning it and always kind of adjusting what you do. Yes, and keeping up with what they need. Yeah, that is a very
So they know what
important.
they need more than you know.
That's right. They know what they need. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So y'all need to ask them, what do they need? Ask them what they need. Yeah.
Mhm.
and that empowers them. Just the fact that you're looking to them for answers, you're looking to them for. So I know there's also organizations that go in and say, this is what we're going to do for you. And this is the
Right.
way we're going to do it because this is
Oh,
the way we understand it should be done.
Because we have the answers, we know the
yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's such an empowering thing to ask them, what do you want? And how do you suggest we fix it? The
Mhm.
more we talk to women who have been
Mhm.
involved around the world and so forth, that's such a key thing, is you have to trust the people, that the nationals that live in whatever country that you're in. What you have to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They have the answers, they have the solution, but they lack the resources sometimes, to get that. And so that's where we can help them. Yeah, is to access resources. And sometimes they need maybe some know-how, some training, some skills.
Because
Mhm.
usually, even all of us, you don't know what you don't know. So
Right.
you don't even know what to ask because you think you know this. But this is all you know, when this is the expanse of what you're looking at.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it's been really rewarding. And so when I moved back to the US last year, I look for these opportunities also to continue to help and to give back. Yeah.
Such, oh, I'll tell you what, Helen, you are such a supernova yourself, in that I really do think there's so many women that unfortunately decide they're going to retire and then they're going to maybe they don't count anymore, or maybe there's nothing else they can contribute. And the fact that I imagine you're more busy maybe than when you had a full-time job with all the things that you're doing and the different ways you're using your immense education and
Connections and
Mhm.
knowledge.
yeah.
Yes, yes. I think you feel that, well, I feel like, after having worked for so many years, that I've got certain skills that I've acquired, accumulated through those years that could be put to use for all kinds of organizations. Right. So the basic leadership skills, the basic management skills, all of that, can be put to good use, to benefit the society. Yeah, and so I think that's what I would like to do with my time.
Well, you're definitely an inspiration.
Isn't she? Isn't she? That's great. It's wonderful to chat with you. So I'm thinking that our audience, who are also maybe women over 50 that are thinking maybe retiring in the next 10 years or something like that, or maybe they've already retired, and they want to know, well, what's next for me?
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest for those women who are still looking for meeting and contribution that they can offer?
Well, I would say that understand yourself, understand what your priorities are in this phase of life,
Mhm.
and spend your time working on those things, on whatever your priorities are, whatever you care about. Make sure that you spend time doing that. Not everybody wants to maybe be on boards of nonprofits or whatever, but whatever your priorities are, take the time to do that, and really be happy. You need to know yourself well enough to know, what's going to be, what is happiness for me? What is going to be fulfilling to me, so that when I look back 10 years from now, I don't say that I wasted all those 10 years and I wish I had done something.
Right.
Now is the time to take action, to go ahead and do it, and don't put off anything. You don't have a lot of time to put off. Once the time is gone, moves ahead, it's gone. You can't get it back.
And it seems to go faster and faster every
Yes, that's right. Yeah, right. So I think these may be the best times. This is the best time of your life is
We happen to
this
agree
phase.
with
This phase
We
is the
do
best
agree
time.
with that.
Yeah,
Well, because we've gained so much at this stage
that's
of our life.
right.
You think all these years how you were, I mean, all the challenges that you had, and you didn't know what you didn't know.
Right,
And now you know.
exactly. Now you're a lot wiser. You have all these experiences, all these skills. And so now you can really put them to use if that's what you want, and do what you really love to do, what you have a passion for doing.
I think that's so important, because I always say, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody, it's kind of like, but the truth is,
That's true.
you don't want to do something that's going to make you miserable, because that doesn't help anybody.
Mhm.
And so I think your advice to follow your passion, follow your love, and do what makes you happy is a wonderful word to leave our audience with. So thank you so much for taking time with us today. This is exciting.
We can't wait to see you in person.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great talking to both of you.